As a trained teacher, I want to make a difference in young teachers' practice. Therefore, I hope to help them in assessment practices through my capstone project entitled Enhancing Teachers' Capacities on Diagnostic Literacy Assessment. Hello, I am Suzette and welcome to my capstone presentation. I am a student in the Master of Education program at St. George's University. I will give a description of the project, including the goals and purpose, the motivation for undertaking the topic, the process and methods used. I will also discuss the findings and results of my research. Then I will provide a brief view of the platform that I have created, followed by lessons learned from this capstone experience. Now for the capstone, a platform was created in the electronic portfolio site Digication. It was designed for elementary or primary educators who teach at the early childhood department, that is kindergarten to grade 3. The platform provides information on what diagnostic literacy assessment is, the benefits, and outlines how to conduct and use this type of assessment to guide classroom practice. It contains practical and specific examples of assessment tools that can be utilized in the classroom, along with directions and guidelines for using them. Additionally, it also includes resources and other information about this type of assessments. This platform is intended to aid educators' understanding of diagnostic assessment and improve their knowledge and skill to support students' learning in literacy. Now, I was motivated to do this project because a reading problem exists in Grenada and at the primary level at my school, since some students are reading below their grade level. According to DCOD 2013-15, diagnostic assessment provide detailed information about a student's reading development, and this information can help them to inform instruction. I have always had a passion for helping untrained teachers, so I seized the opportunity to create this tool. Additionally, during my practicum, some teachers expressed a desire to have help in assessing students. As a classroom teacher myself, I reason that teachers must know about this type of assessment to bridge the gap between teaching and learning to enhance literacy competencies. Now, to inform the capstone process, I carried out research at a few primary schools using a questionnaire to ascertain the relationship between teachers' belief and their literacy instruction. My curiosity and focus about teachers' belief stem from a research conducted by Brown in 2002, who identified 4 assessment beliefs held by teachers. I wanted to know how that apply in a Grenadian context at the primary level of our education system relative to diagnostic literacy assessment. Data from participants in the early childhood department were captured, and this information was analyzed. Let us look at some results and findings. The findings reveal that teachers believe that diagnostic literacy assessment is useful to provide information to improve teaching and learning. And the themes emerging from that to support the belief is that it is used to identify students' strengths and weaknesses and abilities, and for planning purposes. One respondent stated, the results should show each student's strengths and weaknesses, which can guide the teacher in the planning and delivery of instruction. Furthermore, into the research, as the graph indicates, all the respondents use diagnostic assessment in their practice. The main reason put forward was to ascertain students' level, to aid planning, and for intervention purposes. The findings showed that assessment is used primarily at the beginning of the school term and at the beginning of the academic year. However, When the teachers were asked to cite examples of assessment tools that they utilize in their practice, it was revealed that more assessment of an informal nature was being used. This can be problematic since informal assessment failed to capture accurate diagnoses, limiting teachers' practice to help students develop reading and other literacy areas. For instance, only one respondent indicated that he or she uses the Caribbean assessment battery of reading. Although some indicated that they use running records and word lists, the origin of this could not be ascertained since no face-to-face interaction was done. Thomas 2012 suggests that assessment is a challenging task and effective classroom assessment requires knowledge of the approach and mastery over assessment strategies. Since data reveal a lack of formal assessment approach, I created a platform to bridge that gap. The results further state that all teachers indicated that they plan instruction based on their belief, as is evident in the graph. The data reveal that their belief influenced their classroom decisions in planning for literacy instruction to cater to students' level. The main instructional decision the teachers engaged in was to do differentiated instruction in the classroom. That means that they tailored instruction to meet the individual needs of their students. Hence, the relationship is that teachers' belief drive or influence classroom instruction. Now let's look at the limitation. A limitation to the study was that a limited number of teachers were used in the schools. In fact, 16 teachers were used, that is, 4 teachers were used in 4 different schools in only 2 parishes. Now, since my research showed that assessment tools of a more informal nature were being used, I created a site with the hope that the teachers will have a resource where they can access the tools. These tools will help them identify students' strengths and weaknesses and address the deficiencies in literacy in the classroom. Overall, the site gives a comprehensive view of diagnostic literacy assessment. Now let's look at the images. The images show the site. Here, you can see the different sections that were included, and these are the assessment tools that the teacher will have opportunity to use. It contains a description, how to use it, guidelines for administering it, and so forth. These here are additional information that was added, including blogs, articles, and videos that the teachers can go to get a better idea of diagnostic literacy assessment. Additionally, teachers share their testimonies on using this tool. Teachers who would have actually used it, they share their testimonies, and this was captured and included. A section on sociocultural literacy was also included, and it gave teachers some tips and guidelines for Creole and Standard English use. Now, the key takeaways of my capstone experience are the possibilities for a project of this nature for primary school teachers in the education system. Now, as a researcher, it has cemented the importance of taking an inquiry stance or carrying out research to address problems and concerns. As a leader, it showcased how change can be initiated at one site of practice and how it can extend beyond the impact other stakeholders. This is a platform I intend to use myself, since I am unfamiliar with some of the tools. Overall, this has been a learning experience for me as an educator and as a researcher, since the capstone project was a culmination of the different phases of a process that can make a difference in our education system. I am pleased about this project, and I hope that it can make an impact on teaching and learning in literacy in the primary schools in Grenada. Martin H. Fisher said, and I quote, "Diagnosis is not the end, but the beginning of practice." This quote encapsulates the essence of my capstone project. These are the references. I am extending thanks to Dr. Matthew Adam Caswell, my advisor, Dr. Ellie Fitzfilmer, my external mentor, and Mistress Marilyn Monroe Francis, my practicum supervisor. They have contributed immensely to the success of my capstone journey. Thank you for viewing.